A majority of women have ever been sexually harassed. Some cases are extreme, while some go unnoticed. Today, we'll shed more light on sexual harassment right here at Hope Channel Kenya. The show is Ladies Talk, a show where we talk about all concerns, issues, and interests of women. Welcome and stay with us as we discuss this topic of sexual harassment. I'm joined today by two beautiful ladies, Maureen and Nancy. And Maureen will help us discuss about how we can continue with our normal lives after sexual harassment. She is a counselor, and she will help us to shed more light on how we can get out of that depression and continue with our lives. Nancy will also help us to share with us her experience and also encourage those who are going through the same outside there. Welcome. Maureen, you can say hi to the viewers.
Hi viewers, my name is Mrs. Maureen Magana. Welcome.
Welcome, Nancy.
Hi viewers, my name is Nancy Washira. Welcome.
Stay tuned, viewer, and send your feedback and your views via our social media platforms. Twitter handle is @Hope_Kenya, and our Facebook fan page is Hope Channel Kenya. The SMS line is displayed on your screen. Send in your views and welcome. My name is Maureen Oguda. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
We're talking about sexual harassment, and people do not actually understand what sexual harassment is. So what is the meaning of sexual harassment? Or when we talk about sexual harassment, what do we mean, Maureen?
Sexual harassment is an indecent sexual act towards the opposite sex or towards any person who is weaker than the person who is harassing someone,
Okay.
or to the opposite sex or same sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
It can be the same sex
Yeah.
or opposite.
It can be same sex or opposite.
And the one harassed must be weaker than...
Yeah, most of the time you will find the one being harassed or the victim is weaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy, what do you understand by the term sexual harassment?
To my understanding, sexual harassment is any act from the we call them perpetrators, any act by the perpetrator towards the victim that causes them intimidation.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what are the common forms of sexual harassment that we witness around us?
The most common ones are someone just coming to touch your hair indecently. Mm. And it just
even your hair?
Yeah, someone will just come and stroke your hair. Those ones people look like they think it is just something normal, and yet someone maybe could be having an intention. Another one is someone trying to touch you indecently, touching your breast, spanking you in your back while walking. And someone may be making a comment after passing you. They want to make a comment on how you look, maybe from behind or how you look from in front.
That is not a compliment?
It could be a compliment. It could be a compliment, but it harasses someone. You don't feel secure when this person talks to you, especially when it is a stranger. Mostly it is strangers who will do that. Maybe he will just pass you and then you just find someone making a comment and then moving. You know, that one is intimidating. Yeah.
Okay, you talked about someone touching your hair. I've always known that sexual harassment is someone, if it is touch, then someone is touching your private parts, and hair is
hair. You know, there's how you can be with someone in a room, maybe of an opposite sex. You are with someone in the room and then someone is like, I like your hair. You know, you don't know the intention of this person. Yeah, you may not know the intention, but when someone just comes and just doing something, and then it may not just end there. He will start again complimenting you. Yeah, those are sexual harassment.
Your dress.
Okay, dressing can depends on people's taste also. But one thing is that someone will start by stroking your hair, and then you think it is normal. He'll come and touch your ear, and then you think it's so normal, and then he just goes, he goes down and down. By the time you realize that this person had an intention of doing something, you are already in an harassment situation.
Then I think if that is the case, then all of us have been at one point sexually harassed.
Yeah, in one way or another we have been victims of sexual harassment.
Okay, Nancy, talk to us, share with us your experience on sexual harassment. How did you find yourself in the situation you found yourself in, and how did you get out of it, and just your experience?
Thank you. Like you said before, sometimes it goes to the extreme, and some goes unnoticed and such things.
Yeah.
And as she has explained, it's anything that intimidates. And you can imagine starting from the hair, and one thing leads to another, and by the end of the day, sometimes it goes beyond we can even imagine. Yeah. My experience was, I don't know what we could call this. Okay, apart from that, just the touches that leads to other things, sometimes it goes to the point of
penetration.
The penetration itself, and my experience will go towards that direction. So I have been an active church member, or rather a leader in church, and being active, that exposes you to people, that exposes you to many friends and all sorts of people.
Sure.
So I meet this guy in a camporee, and I'm out there in the leadership, and then all of a sudden we are over with the camporee, and I'm back to school, and I'm a student in Kenyatta University, and things continue. And then I'm meant to hand in reports to the station, and one thing to another, as we said, I'm to meet this guy and take a report from him. And unfortunately, from pick it at the gate, KU gate, to pick it at Resambu stage, to I've just gotten into the house, please come to the house, take a boda and come to the house. And then in the house, we are arguing over, will I? He's like, I want to cook for you. And I'm like, no, I need to go back to school, I have things to do. And an argument led to a touch, and a touch led to the penetration itself. Now, the worst experience was that one thing led to another, and it went to penetration. And after that, I was not able to report. I got confused, I got stressed up, and like I have always told girls that before the 72 hours are over, you should go to a hospital, or rather report to a law firm, but okay, the police. But it happened that out of the confusion and the stress that came with me, I did not. So I go back to school, I have exams, I do my exams, but still stressed. I go to the exam room, and I come back and close myself in, because I cannot just take it. Until now, I thought of, no, I can't take it anymore. I don't even know my status. I don't know what is happening with me. And the first thing I thought was not even to go to the hospital, was to take away my life. I mean, it was too much for me. And then I walk, and then I meet this guy who was my churchmate now in Kuzda, and we talk a little bit, and I'm almost sharing the experience out of the disappointment, and all of a sudden I think, no, he's not the right person to talk about. I think I'm not yet ready to share with anyone. And so I branch and go to the health unit. And after the test, you know what? I was pregnant. Yes, I was pregnant, and that added into the depression itself. Then the journey started from me going for the test. I was not able to share with anyone else apart from the doctor and the tests. But then later, after 1 week, I thought I should I should go and at least open up with someone. Then I went to, in KU there's a department in the health unit called Ghana 2 where women and ladies are able to go and express their reproductive problems. So I go and share with them with tears and no hope. But then I share with them, not knowing whether they will tell me to terminate it out because it was out of assault, or they will tell me to just keep. I didn't know what they would do. But then they directed me to Kenyatta National Hospital Youth Center. There it's when I went and found counselors. They took me through the journey for a month. And then now it's 2 months, and I felt I had some energy to at least share with someone who is close to me. I think of sharing with my sister, and then I even travel home, but unfortunately I was not able to. So I come back to Nairobi without even having shared. And after coming back to Nairobi, again another month without even telling anyone. I'm living with people, but I'm not disclosing what had happened. And then I had this friend who is still a friend and a father to me, Pastor Kigundu, who is our chaplain. I gained some courage and went to his office, and there I was able to share, and I think my journey of acceptance started there. He walked with me through. I've been able to overcome it to some extent with him, and I salute him for he helped me go through the journey. And the baby is a baby boy who was born on 19th December of 2015, and he's 2 years now.
Oh, that's a very sad story.
It's no longer sad.
Yeah, we thank God you've been able to walk through it, and you're strong now. Now this person wanted to cook for you. He was not married then.
He was not married, and if he was married, he was not married in public. Yes. So the much I know is he was not married.
So what happened to you we can term as rape?
Everyone I talk to wants to call it that. I call it assault because assault is more beautiful to say, but the reality is it's rape.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that spirit. Someone does that to you and you still want to find a beautiful term for it. Yes, Maureen, you've had her experience.
Yeah.
And she's talked about her experience, how it happened, and unfortunately this is an active member of the church. They met and they went for the camporee together, and now this happens. So that leads us to, where do these things happen apart from the house? This happened to the man's house, but which other places do we experience such things?
The other places we experience such things apart from the house is maybe a friend's house.
Yeah.
Maybe you're walking late at night on your own in darkness, you can be raped. Yeah, those areas, even in matatus, you can be raped. Yeah, because we have an incident of a girl who was touched indecently.
Yeah.
Yeah, some time back, the Githurai buses. Yeah, she was touched indecently in a bus, and it was a group of men. So these are things that can happen to you at any time, and mostly they are never planned.
Yeah.
You never plan to go and get raped. Like you see her story, one was leading to the other. Like you see, they were all active members of the church.
Yeah.
They meet in a camporee. What I do not know, did you have any engagement in the camporee?
The only engagement was that he was a volunteer. I was an executive member, and the match is official. Nothing much in private or
which means that your relationship was strictly official.
Yeah.
So the only thing that made you go meet him was to give him report. Pick a report from him. So from one stage he tells you, come to this place. From this place you come to my home. From my home, let me cook for you. And from this cooking, you see the way I was telling, it starts from the hair and then it goes to something else. So here you find she was being led without knowing. she is an innocent victim here, being led. So she's told, come to this stage. She goes, she calls, she's told to go home. When she goes home, to his home now, when she goes to his home, he wants to cook for her. He wants to cook for her, and then she does not want, she does not want to be cooked for, because she has other things to do. There's something that she was coming for, not
food.
Not food.
Yeah.
So when she has this argument, he starts with the touching. I don't know, did you scream in the process of him starting to touch you? Because that was a signal of someone wanting now to go to another level.
Yeah.
Did you scream for help? Or were there neighbors who could hear of what was happening?
Well, what I did not scream, but I tried to defend myself for as longest time possible. But unfortunately, sometimes we're weaker.
Yeah.
So I didn't scream, but I tried to defend myself.
You are a weaker sex, and
Yeah.
now it reached a point you had to give in.
You find yourself losing the energy to
You
fight
don't have the
anymore.
energy, because he was so physical. You see, he was very ready for the act, and yet she was not. One thing is that she was shocked. But you see, we all have defensive mechanism that is different. With her, she knows that she's going to fight. Some will scream, like someone like me, I will shout, and everyone will hear. But you see, her way of reacting is fighting. But you find that this fighting did not yield much. She became weak, and this man overpowered her.
So we'll talk about the remedies for sexual harassment and how we can be able to defend ourselves. You'll explain that to us after a short break. So right now, viewer, we are taking a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about remedies for sexual harassment and how we can continue living within that depression, and the process and the procedure that you're supposed to take after sexual harassment to ensure that you accept that it is a reality and your life has to continue. Stay right here with us. Welcome back to Ladies Talk right here at Hope Channel Kenya. This is a show where we talk all issues, concerns, and matters that affect women and that surrounds the life of women generally. And today we are shedding more light on sexual harassment. And you have heard the experience that Nancy has shared. Now we want to look at how can we defend ourselves. We are a weaker sex, but still we need some defense mechanisms. How can we defend ourselves, and even after it is done, how can we continue with our lives after that? Stay with us and welcome. Maureen, you have heard her story. It's quite a sad story, but now we have to live with it. It is a reality. Now, how can we defend ourselves as women? She tried, she thought she could fight this man, but unfortunately we can't, unless you find a fellow woman. So how can we defend ourselves from these our brothers?
Okay, maybe before we go to how to defend ourselves, there's the Section Act, the Sexual Offence Act of 2006, where one has to obtain the subject, where that person has the freedom and capacity to make that choice. Like you see, she was going to, she had the choice. She was not given the chance to make a choice whether this man should continue or not, which means that this man did this thing by force.
Her consent.
Without her consent, and he used force on her. And by using force, this is a jail term of 10 years if you go to a court of law. That one is, because you see, this man has penetrated into Nancy without Nancy's authority. She did not say yes. She resisted, even after fighting. The only thing that made her go down is because she lacked strength.
Yeah.
So this one is punishable by law. That man should be in jail for 10 years.
So ladies watching outside there should know that there's a policy,
there's a policy for that.
And keeping quiet will not help us. Come out of it and speak.
Yeah.
Yes, and these people can be dealt with. Because actually they're supposed to be dealt with.
Yeah, they need to be dealt with.
Yeah.
Well, before we go to how we can defend ourselves, there are some sexual acts that maybe we go through generally as ladies or even men, but we don't realize that these things are sexual assaults or harassment. Someone sending you a sext message, sexting, sending you something, sending you pornographic images, and
that is an assault.
Yeah, it is an indecent act. This person has not penetrated, but it is an indecent act. Just like someone just passing and touching your breasts, spanking your buttocks.
How is that different from someone sending you a text, "I love you," yet this person has never talked to you about love?
Yeah, that is an assault.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a sexual assault.
All right.
That's what I was saying. Sexting you.
Okay.
Yeah, using text message to send you sexual messages, indecent, pornographic images being sent to your phone. Those are acts that punishable by law, and if found guilty, 5 years in jail or 50,000 fine or both. Yeah, so you find most of the time we don't even realize. You know, there are times when we can be sent such, but we just feel like
you just ignore.
You just ignore, like
that is his problem. I don't love him.
But one thing is that you do not know the intention of this person. So you find that in one story leads to the other. He sends today, maybe you do not even respond. You just delete it. After 1 week, he's been waiting for your response. You're not responding. He sends something again. And it's something that is just sexual. Just harassing you in a sexual way. You know, just like, I met you at the corridor and I think you were beautiful. I think this is how, you know, your breasts are like this, your buttocks are like this, you know. They just make those comments and they don't do it openly. They send you with a text message because they know it's only you who is going to read this. And you know, this is someone who is just trying to get you in one way or another.
Nancy, did you go through the same? Did you go through
sexting?
Yes.
No.
Or you just found yourself in it?
Yeah.
So you couldn't even see that something is coming?
I could not relate anything prior.
Okay.
Yes.
But you see, sexual assault, one, like with her, I'm sorry to say, but with her accepting and still calling it a sexual assault, there's still something she's dealing with. Because for you to totally accept that you have a problem, you say it by its word. You say, I was raped. And this is the reality of it. When you say I was assaulted because you want it to look prettier, it is never pretty. It is something bad that you need to work on. Because you can see the process she took after being raped. You can see the process she took before she even talked to someone. You see, the trauma that she went through, asking herself so many questions. Why me? And what made me, you know, you even start regretting. You even start regretting what made me go for those things. I don't know if she went. I don't know if she went through.
Actually, she went through the same. She said that she was almost taking her life.
She became suicidal because one thing, she was not able to talk to someone, and when you're not able to talk to someone, your esteem has low. Your self-esteem has already gone low. You feel so worthless. You feel like you have no value. You are starting to ask yourself, what are people thinking about me? You know, it's only you and this man who knows what happened, but you think everyone knows what is happening, and then you're like, what are they thinking about me? Now the way I'm a strong church member and I've been raped, now I'm pregnant, who will understand my story? You know, whatever was going in her mind was so much. At that time of trauma, what happened? Do we still call it an assault?
It's rape.
Yeah, it is rape.
Sexual harassment. Now we can talk about the defense mechanisms. How can we try to defend ourselves? Already you have found yourself in the house. You are with this man, the two of you. What can you do? Because we need to, we are not just supposed to let it be and you give in. You can defend yourself and you can come out of it. So what are we supposed to do in such situations?
Thank you. This is a very sorry state. There are times you just have nothing to do. When you're overpowered, you've tried your best. You know, it's just like a story where you are in a matatu. You are with your phone. You are trying to maybe Googling or read something. But you see someone outside there has already planned how he's going to snatch this phone from you and run. You know, it's only him who knows what step to take. But you as the victim, you do not, even when your phone is stolen, you do not know how to act. Like you're like, you don't even know whether to scream. You don't know who to tell. And you're like, you are even confused. What has just happened to me? That is the situation we are always in. But you find yourself, there are times when you just get power from God. I always call it power from God. You can really fight this person and come out, or you can really shout and scream. But it's so unfortunate that these days you can shout and scream and no one comes to your help.
Yeah, and then I think another thing that happens, sometimes we don't want people to know. So I don't want to scream, you know, because if I scream and nobody comes to help me, and then I get out of the house and everybody knows that I've been raped.
That is now when fear has come in. When fear now comes in, you find you're in that situation where you have no strength. He will do whatever he wants to do. He will rape you. And then you will leave.
Okay, Nancy.
Broken-hearted. So I don't know what happened to Nancy after he raped you. Was there any conversation? Or what
Still
happened?
A relationship between the two of you, or you ended up everything and it stopped at that day and that point?
Sometimes once you have no more power to defend yourself, and you find yourself giving in, not like you want, but just because you cannot fight anymore. And it happens. Like, he could want to talk to me, but I know I was very rude, so arrogant to him, because the pain had already penetrated into my heart.
Want to take care of the baby, take responsibility, marry you, or what?
Okay, at that moment, we didn't know there was even going to be a baby. But then after I had gone to the hospital and had realized that I was pregnant, I gave him a text. And this one is a funny comment that came out of him in a text, that thanks be to God. And I think that is the match I had for quite some period. Before, again, when I disclosed it to my chaplain, and he was kind of, he kind of looked for him and he was summoned. He one day asked me, why did you have to open up to this? Did you have to tell everyone that this has happened? And I asked him, what should I have done now that you did it to me? And you don't even seem to care about what happened. What should I have done? And he went silent. And for quite some long time, he didn't talk about it. Later, I have come to meet him in town. I was on attachment. I met him in town. I expressed my pain, very much of it. I expressed it, and it was a relief to me, because at least I was able to let him know what I feel about everything. And after that, there has not been much.
You ended up...
There has not been much. There is no hope.
Okay, just as we wind up, what advice do you have as someone who has experienced the same what advice do you have for someone outside there who is going through the same trauma? Yeah.
I would say, even being able to take care of Angelo, who is the baby, not like I'm the one who is so much doing it. It has taken people. It has taken friends. It has taken well-wishers. It has taken God, the greatest, to be able to accept, number one, to be able to move on, because it's a difficult thing. I won't lie to you. You'll cry every day. You will deny yourself. You will even fail to meet your accomplishments just because you feel like this is not the right thing to have happened. It even draws your achievements back, because I should have, the first group that graduated that I was supposed to graduate with graduated in 2016. I can say I have not graduated. These are just repercussions of things that have happened out of that. But that does not mean that I'm not able to make achievements. I'm still able to meet people and talk to people. I'm still able to do things that not everybody has been able to do. I've still been able to seize opportunities as they have come. So it's not the end of the world. Find someone to talk to. Find someone to walk with. You cannot walk alone in this. You will just die on the way. So you need people to walk with. You need people to help you through the journey. And I thank GUSDA at large for they were there for me. They didn't condemn me, thanks to Pastor Kigundu, and I was able to walk more smoothly than I would have if I was alone.
Amen. Maureen, as we wind up, as a counselor, what advice do you have for someone going through the same outside there? Because this lowers someone's self-esteem. How do we regain it and continue living?
It's a very sorry state, as we say. But one thing, when you find yourself in that situation, I think the first thing that people should have in mind, that when you go through that, report to the authority. Do not even take shower. Just go as you are. Go and report. After reporting, you will go to a hospital, nearby hospital, and then they'll do some tests for you. If need be, they may take you through some medication, and you will find help. There are counselors around, there are spiritual leaders who are amongst us, who we can approach when we have a problem. But who are these people who are close to us that we can talk to, that can understand us? You see, at times we even fear, when we have gone through such, we fear talking to people about it, because we do not know what they are going to talk about. But one thing is that look for someone, a confidant, who you can go and share with. Maybe this confidant is God sent, will take you through the journey, and you will be able to go one step to the other. And there are times when these perpetrators, they just rape you with an intention of maybe spreading HIV and AIDS and STD. You may not know the intention of someone who has raped you, but we need to also pray for them, because they also need help. These rapists, they need help. They need to come out of whatever they are going through, because one thing, as you can hear her say, the man approached her and asked her, did you really have to tell people? Which means his conscience, his conscience is not allowing him to be at peace. He's not at peace because now there is shame in him. And when shame comes, it's like it's something that you live with forever. Because one thing is that you are aware that you did something. You are aware that you have a child out of what you did, your acts. Now the question is, what action is he going to take? Is he going to apologize, take care of the child, or is he going just to walk out and do whatever he wants as he continues being a spiritual leader in church, and we keep on trusting him with anyone? Do we move on that way, or what can we do? Has he accepted that he did wrong to her? That is one thing that we need to know. has he accepted? Because most of the time, these people, the people who rape or defile people, even in children, you will find there are people who are well known to us. You can go and point, but you find most of the time in our society, in the community, we want to shield this thing, and we want to make sure that it is not hard, and it is not hard. It is in low tones, so that we keep that relationship. You know, he's a church member, so we need to make sure we maintain it. But one thing, what happens to the victim? Do we even care of what the victim is going through? Are we able to walk this victim out of what, or is it her responsibility to walk out of this situation on her own? We need to make sure that we find help, because
so we need to speak up and speak out.
Speak up, speak out, tell someone, talk to someone, tell anyone you know, tell them that person raped me. He raped me. Yeah, because you know, when you keep quiet, someone else is quiet somewhere, and we tend not to have a solution out of it.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for coming and for sharing your experience. God will take you through this. Just be strong. And thank you, Maureen, for the pieces of advice. Someone outside there has learned that whenever we go through these things, we are not supposed to ignore anything, and you're supposed to report to the authorities. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewer, for tuning in for Ladies Talk right here at Hope Channel Kenya. We have discussed about sexual harassment, and we have seen the various forms of sexual harassment that even some of them we ignore, and they go unnoticed. Thank you for tuning in, and ensure that as a lady you keep on watch and report anything that you witness. Report. It can be done on you or someone you know. Just report to ensure that this lady is helped. And an advice that has come from our counselor, we need to pray for these people, because they also need God's intervention in their lives. The victims and even the predators, the sexual predators, they need God's intervention in their lives, that they may be able to change. Till next time, I am your host, Maureen Oguda.